Not using cluster on scientific attention, great. We do not have quorum at this time, so we're going to start with public comment. For those of you who are here, members of public comment, we have 30 minutes allocated for public comment. Each public commenter will be allocated 2 minutes. The first round of public comment will be no audio and no video. The next round of public comment will be audio without video, and last will have audio and video. At the end of your 2-minute speech, when you've got about 10 seconds left, put the gavel to the table, you're going to wrap up your public comment at that time. So we will begin public comment at 7:03 p.m. We'll begin here. All right, seeing that, we're going to move on to audio and video. We'll begin here. All right, seeing none, that'll be the end of public comment for tonight, closing at 7:04 p.m. We have no special presentations tonight, no appointments. We are at 9 now. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. So no more. So we will continue with officer member reports, beginning with the office of the president. 1 second. Great. So this week, our office organized Campus Safety Week. We had 3 different events. On Monday, we had our self-defense class that was co-hosted by UCLA Martial Arts. We had about 20 students in attendance. It was a really fantastic event. Today, from 6 to 8 p.m., we're holding a Creating Spaces, a conversation about intersectionality and allyship happening on the Hill right now. Then, should also say the first event was organized by Ken Feller, second event by Gabrielle Gordon, and Thursday's event is an active shooter training with UCPD that we held at JWAC from 4 to 5 p.m. in 2 limited space, so please RSVP to apply, and that was organized by Andrew Rock. Then, I do also want to address one thing. There was a Facebook status that was posted last night that expressed that some students were happy about the fact that my office was hosting a Campus Safety Week. I do want to clarify that none of the events that we organized had any overlap with any other Campus Safety events that were held throughout the quarter. I had mentioned probably at least 8 times throughout the year that we do have a Campus Safety team in the office, and I had mentioned that they were going to be organizing a Campus Safety Week. If there are any concerns about co-programming and co-opting, I wish those would have been brought up to me at a time we could have done something about it and invited other offices, organizations to be a part of it. We co-programmed with other organizations for events that weren't held, which is why we did it, because we felt that program was important and it wasn't being done. So if anyone has any questions, comments about that, please feel free to talk to me. Starting the programming for next week, on Monday, we'll be hosting an interfaith event hosted by the University Religious Conference, or URC, at the Center for the Study of Religion. On Friday, we'll be hosting an event called #EnoughIsEnough. Friday marks the anniversary of the Columbine shooting. We'll be inviting students to partake in a walkout, which is a national walkout happening across the country. And when students get there, there will be advocacy opportunities and opportunities to express themselves as well in recognition of the wave of gun violence that's taken our country by storm, and honoring really the work of the students, specifically really high school students, who are doing a lot of the groundwork right now with regards to advocacy. Our UC affordability team had a really great meeting this past Friday with UC Student Advisor Rocky Sands, with Speaker of the State Assembly, Anthony Renton. We had a very frank conversation about the budget realities that UC faces, and really expressed to the speaker that it is not fair to penalize students for any disagreement or issue that the state has with the office of president or Mrs. Bolton herself. And I think the point was made very clearly. Week 4, we will be hosting our DYF, or Declare Feminism Week. I want to thank Christina for sharing some funds with her t-shirts. We're going to be selling really cool t-shirts, and all proceeds from those t-shirts will be going toward an organization that supports survivors of sexual harassment. On Monday, we'll be hosting an event with a few students from FSC, and we'll be packing care packages for women experiencing homelessness in Los Angeles. Friday night, we'll be hosting an Ethics for Feminism event featuring faculty members from here at UCLA and talk about the intersectionality or lack thereof in feminist movements. On Tuesday, we're going to be co-programming an event with the Career Center and Alumni Association. So we'll be already participating on the event, so thank you for that. It's called Women in Power Lunch. We've got some great panel speakers. Space is limited for that event, so please be sure to apply to grab your spot fairly quickly. Wednesday, we'll be hosting a fem fair in Wilson Plaza, where different organizations that focus on women's empowerment and leadership will have the opportunity to table and show their stuff. And then on Thursday, we'll be hosting what we're calling Women March Trans Demand. A little bit about midway through the quarter, last quarter, we sent out a form asking students to provide feedback with regard to sexual violence, sexual harassment, and Title IX education and prevention. We compiled that feedback together and created a list of demands for the administration with regard to sexual violence, sexual harassment, and so we'll be delivering those to them on Thursday. And then on Friday, we are very excited to announce that officially, as of this morning, we will be hosting the first ever Advocates for Women's Empowerment and Leadership reception at the Chancellor's Home, actually hosted by Mrs. Block herself. This will be an opportunity for us as students to nominate our fellow students who have really shown exemplary work when it comes to advocating, supporting, and pushing for women's empowerment and women's leadership. No, you do not need to be a woman to apply. And to give students the opportunity to be recognized, to recognize each other, and create a culture around that on campus. So the application for that will be released basically as soon as this meeting ends, and I really hope people will apply and consider nominating those in your spaces who have done exemplary work. So that's it for me. Any questions? Cool, thank you. Moving on to item P. It's not here. We can come back to our EDP.
Rowan's Vote is alive and kicking. We have about, I think, 100 volunteers who've been trained so far, and tomorrow we have our on-the-go kickoff event. That's 5 to 8 o'clock. Only 2 baby goats there. Their names are Emerald and Citrine. They come together as a pair because one can't be without the other. So I encourage you all to go and meet these 2 baby goats. For the rest of the Filmmaking Fridays that we have until from now until I guess the end of the quarter is going to be around budget advocacy, so we're going to be focusing on that as well as AB, I think 3513, which is on extending the Cal grant to the summer. So we'll be going to the committee hearing for that on April 24th. This Sunday, Tony was going to be speaking at an event at the Camera Museum, so you can drop by that before you go to the gala that we have Sunday evening. And then lastly, UCSA released grant applications to apply what they're calling a permit right grant. And so this is going to be a permanent source of funding that student groups from across the UC can apply to for different initiatives or projects that they're doing related to basically supporting students of color.
Any questions for Chloe? Seeing none, we're going to move on to AAC. Don't see anyone here. Facilities, nope. And FSC.
Okay. Middle, right? Okay, so first of all, as I announced last week, it's going to be Financial Wellness Week, so check out the FSC Facebook page's cover photo and my cover photo for the best year of career throughout the week. Second of all, tomorrow, the USAC FSC office and Partner Advocacy Task Force are going to have a meeting with Transportation Funding Services. That's tomorrow at 10 a.m. And we have a video on our Facebook page, and anyone who's a commuter student, those are commuter students, I'm filling that out. If you have, you won't bring it up. And my office is also compiling a list of some of our achievements to create an end of the year report to go over some of the stuff that we did this year.
Any questions for Aaron? Thank you. Moving on to agenda 2.
Our International Culture Night was great. Last night we got a lot of great feedback from students, and they all said they really enjoyed the events and really tried all different cultural codes and having different cultural foods. It's just really want to appreciate our team member, International team, for working really hard on that and doing a lot of great outreach. And to prepare the Korea Night for international students for Korea peers is hosting a workshop for resume Korea peer route next Tuesday in Korea's winter. And next Wednesday, we're hosting the Korean Night at DNAP Ballroom from 5 to 7 p.m. Now we have 13 companies that are guaranteed high international students. Unfortunately, we really did a lot of outreach, and those are the 13 companies that signed up. And they're all from different industries, so would you have to do all change?
Questions for Taylor? Thank you. Moving on to CEC.
So submissions for our 24th annual Short Takes Film Festival will be closing on the 20th of this month. It's $5 for the UCLA students, $10 for non-UCLA students. And if you were in the first 50 films this night, you'll have this be waived. So yeah, it's a really, really cool event, and this year we're doing something different where instead of hosting an HEB, we're actually hosting the James Bridge Theater, which is like this really beautiful theater. If you've ever been there, and we're gonna have a small section in the lobby of Melbourne, so it'll be really nice. Also, sorry, we have a film screening, a free sneak peek of Truth or Dare, which has Lucy Hale in it, and that will be on April 12th, so on Thursday. And then also be in James Bridge Theater, we're co-programming with GSA. And we have a lot of really cool concerts coming up. I know I tried to invite all of you on Facebook, but something that CC has really been working on this past quarter and the beginning of fall quarter was to work on this like new spring festival, but spring concert in Sunset Rec. It's gonna be called Ultra Bloom, and essentially it's gonna be a lineup of primarily EDM artists. And so we haven't really been able to share officially until this past weekend. So if you guys want to come out, it'll be super cool. It's on day 6. And we have a lot of surprises on the store. So if you're interested, I would say go. I would put go on the Facebook event just so you can keep updated on all the things that we're planning. Also, we have on May 9th, we have a free concert with Injury Reserve, and Geek is opening. It's going to be in AGD at 7 p.m. All of this on our Facebook, so you can RSVP through Eventbrite if you're interested in that. We're also doing a co-program with the Camera Museum. The Arts Party happens there every year, and this year they reached out to us to do talent line for them. So we're going to be hosting. There as well. So if you're interested, come out there. It's also going to be with the UCLA Sex Health Coalition and I forget the other two folks. Yeah, and the sex talk, UCLA Sex Talk. So that's going to be on the 20th, and that's also going to be really, really cool. It's not just music, but a variety of different things that can occur.
Any questions for Netta?
I would. What's in the winner of the short takes film festival here?
So it depends on like after the judging, there's like a variety of like first, second, third type deal. And it depends on what slot you're in. We're still working with sponsors to get the official prizes, but in the past it's been like free editing software or like a free camera or like if you're like in the lower end of like the lineup, like free gift cards to Kava or stuff like that. So the gifts are like really, really cool. Vivian, our Films and Festival director, works really hard on securing the sponsorship. So we usually get like really, really cool stuff.
Cool. Thank you. If there are no other questions, move on to TSR.
So, April 19th, which is next Thursday, will be the, alumni mentoring networking night. So, you see the Chancellor alumni will be coming, RSVPs, sign-up sheet will be dropping later on, I believe. And we're kind of excited because we're going to award our scholarship winners, so it's going to be a really nice event. Nice and fancy, and so yeah, I'll keep y'all posted on that. Still having my office hours, the transfer center, every Wednesday from 12 to 1, so yeah, should stop on by.
Any questions for Shirley? Good question, actually, and this is one of the push for the future councils to have like a shared calendar, so also posting it every day, right? But what time's your agenda? So you find it.
It's from 6 to 8. What time is yours?
Oh, yeah, cool. There are no other questions for Sarah, move on to studies.
We recently talked to Optimize National, and realize that we'd be able to bring in a new display that we don't have before. For Sunset, I'm happy to pursue their collection, and it's like a tour that they do nationally. And we have everything for May 15th that we're very excited about. Aside from that, we are also currently working on getting the show headed by Summer Hill. We just got to go with it, so we're like taking it step by step, and it's bureaucracy, but we're really happy that we found the first yes, so we're currently moving towards getting them in that for fall. Hopefully I have a recorder, but if not, we'll be working towards it. We're also currently in the middle of special software month during week 2 currently. This week you'll see some in-person displays on the hill, looking at different areas by different residential halls. And then tomorrow there's an event called Sex Talk in Kirkhoff State Rooms from 6 to 7 p.m. And then on Thursday there will be the focus event on Music Radio called the Ethics of Sex Talk. Aside from that, we are also bringing back World AIDS, which is our educational event on HIV/AIDS awareness, where we bring in philanthropy and also an educational aspect. So we're actually going to be bringing African Ballroom into a rollerblading game. And then we'll be taking some donations, which will also do something else in return for. I think we'll have those switchers this year. And then UCLA Radio is actually helping to us, so they'll be playing lots of music. And then Earth just harvested one of their first, I guess, gardens today that we have up in Sunset Rec. They harvested broccoli, about 20 pounds, which they donated to CPOs to deposit. And they'll be continuing to do that as long as they keep growing, I guess. And we have berries and rose hips, I think, coming up, but they're not yet fully grown. We also have a beach cleanup next Saturday. If you'd like to join, you can email earth.swc.ucla@gmail.com. They will be taking you to Venice Beach for free at 9 a.m. at the turnaround, and it'll probably last until afternoon. And then we just had our post-workout refuel event yesterday. We were outside of Lynn, and you could make like your own trail mix and learn about stretches that you can do after workout. And we will probably be having a similar event because we got such positive feedback yesterday. I'm really excited about that. Aside from that, next week is Sex Week, so Sexperts and Sexual Health Coalition and UCLA Arts and Global Health Center have been all collaborating and getting loudly for this event. So all week long, there's a bunch of stuff going on. The biggest event is Sex Extravaganza, which happens every year on the Hill. That's the one to look out for. And we still have CPR classes open if you'd like, UCLACPR.com. We still have the first aid classes as well. Looking forward to Health Week, and I think that's it.
How long does the CPR take? It last a year or like what, 6 months? 6 months to a year?
I believe it's like the regular American First Aid one, so it should be a year or 2 years. It's definitely longer than 6 months.
Okay.
2 years.
2 years?
American First too.
Cool. All right. And what's the website again?
UCLACPR.com.
Other questions for Christina? Great, moving on to CSC.
Hi, so CSC has a few events going on this month, so we have like a range of events up to the 25th of April, ranging from pre-morning to bed, we can make on. We had, yesterday we just had a panel on food safety and security. So that's going to be going on throughout the next 2 weeks, and you can go to the Come On at UCLA Facebook page if you want to look at the events that are going on and like the time notifications. And then next week on April 17th, from April 17th to April 24th, we're going to be having MLK Remembrance events, because so on the day that MLK came to UCLA in 1965. So it's co-program, it's not CSC program, but we are helping to we'll make what we can, and that's something that we'll start next week on Tuesday.
Any questions about me? Thank you. Moving on to our administrator reps. We'll start on the side of the table, Dr. Helen, work our way around. Any updates for us today? Well, there are on the administrative side, a few parking spots left for usac. Any of your staff members are looking for parking. Election board committee, you're looking for parking for election board.
What? Oh, sorry.
No. Yeah. Great. So we do have forum now. So I'm going to take us back to the start of the agenda to approve the agenda and we work our way down. Are there any amendments to the agenda tonight?
You can strike art allocations.
Striking part. Anything else? Yeah, let's do one second. We have a request from the election board. As well, do you want to make a recommendation to a council member to amend the agenda as you see fit? I can just.
Yeah. Oh, okay. So we just need to agenda, I guess, amend the agenda to include a proposal to switch the date of the second meeting calendar candidates event. I can go into more detail if you like.
So, due to, I'm sure you all received the email, due to the exponentially large number of council members running this, or candidates running this year, the election board has had to find a new time and space to account for all these additional candidates. And so they have tried to find additional space for the candidates meeting. The only space that they were able to find for the times that they wanted was Tuesday night. So we'll talk about when we get there. Is there would anyone like to amend the agenda to add an action item to amend the election calendar? And that will require 2/3 vote in order to pass. Just, yes.
Okay. A motion to add a new action item under new business to move the second candidates from Monday to Tuesday for on the election calendar.
So I'll just add it as election calendar amendment. Thank you. Any other amendments to the agenda? Seeing none, is there a motion to approve the agenda as amended? Any of you need to repeat the amendments? Is there a motion? Yes.
Motion to approve the agenda as amended.
Is there a second? Thank you, Christina. All right, so there's a motion on the table and a second. We'll begin the roll call vote with IDP. Yes. EDP.
Yes.
Gen 1.
Yes.
Gen 2.
Yes.
Gen 3.
Yes.
AAC. CEC. CAC.
Yes.
CSC. So proxy will vote, sorry about that. Facilities. FSC.
Yes.
SWC.
Yes.
And TSR.
Yes.
Great, therefore, by a vote of 1, 2, 3, 0 to 0, this motion passes, and our agenda is amended. Moving along to the approval of the minutes of April 3rd, hopefully everyone has had the opportunity to review them.
I'm missing, reports from Zara and Savon.
So, did you want to mention the report? Oh. If not, is there a motion to approve the minutes from April 3rd, 2018? Yeah, Yes.
And this is approved the minute from April 3rd.
Is there a second? Thank you, Christina. We'll begin a roll call vote with IDP,
Yes.
EVP, General 1, General 2, General 3,
Abstain.
CEC, CAC,
Yes.
FSC,
Yes.
SWC, and TSR. Therefore, by a vote of 9-0 to 1, this motion passes and our minutes have been approved. Great, so our demonstration presentation is done with officer member reports, so we'll move on to our funding allocations for tonight, starting with contingency from Nadia.
Hi, so this previous week we had 26 total applications, 25 of which were from student organizations and one by the USAC office. So the total amount requested was $20,890.22. The total recommendation by FICOM is $12,220.
Any questions for Nadia? Seeing none, can someone make a motion to approve the allocation?
I move to approve the contingency allocation of $12,220.
Is there a second? You, Justin? We'll begin with a roll call vote with IDP,
Yes.
EDP, General 1, General 2, General 3,
Yes.
CEC,
Yes.
CAC,
Yes.
FSC,
Yes.
SWC, and TSR. Therefore, by a vote of 10-0 today, this motion passes and the allocation has been approved. Moving on to the student wellness program plan.
Okay, so we got one request from the DHA scholarship for for the facilities. They requested $1,000 as part of our student health network. We raised the cap to $1,750, and we do recommend $1,000 for that. Ken Howell Council also requested money for the women's wellness forum. They requested $450, and we're suggesting $300 based on the fact that for food and product, which we can't cover. So right now we're at 100. Those you real quick. Okay, and then we have another one from diabetes at UCLA. They wanted to ask for $956.61 for a medical day to work out on. We also got another one from Honors Fellows, we suggested to full. Another one from Honors Fellows for a work and play and future skills event. Of course, 65, and it's just 125, but you can't move there. Another one from American Indian Student Association for their 33rd annual UCLA Palo Alto. They asked for 500, we're suggesting 300. Another one from Cypress Mental Health Workshops, requested 1,125, which is about the cap, and we're suggesting 750, which is the cap. Metro at UCLA that they also asked for 750 for this curriculum retreat, suggesting 400. And then Roomsware asked for 750 for their self-awareness and self-protection training. We are suggesting 750, and we'll have it right now, we'll add it to
Any questions? Okay, this is a consent item. Is there any opposition to the allocation of these fees? Seeing none, the allocation is approved. Moving on to the Student Advocacy Grant Fund.
We have 4 applications. The first is from the UK Student Union for an advocacy conference. Second is from the Alpha Kappa Story for an advocacy conference. The third is from the USAC General 2 Office, ISLC, and CSSA for a federal lobbying conference. And the fourth is from the Women's Policy Institute for a state lobbying conference. In total, the requested amount was $2,250, and our director recommended that they all be paid in full.
Any questions for Chloe? Seeing as this is a consent item, is there any opposition to the approval of these allocations? Seeing none, the allocation is approved. Is there anyone here to present about the travel grant aid fund? Seeing none, I'm going to strike that. Next, is there anyone here to present about the academic success memorandum? Seeing none, we'll move along as well. We have no old business tonight, so we'll begin with new business. Beginning with the resolution in support of and in solidarity with psychologists and clinicians of UCLA Counseling and Psychological Services. This is coming from Christina.
Okay, so I should just start reading here. So, to give some context, we were contacted by some union workers from CAPS who were requesting student support to write a letter to Chancellor Block to regulate this issue that CAPS counselors are having. Consistently, it's not only something that happens at UCLA, but it is something that happens across the UC where CAPS counselors are actually underpaid in comparison to outside providers. And so they've asked us to provide support, and we also want to write a resolution to, I guess, set aside the letter that we sent to Chancellor Block to really sort of set it more in stone and ask other admin to also put in their support for this issue. So this was sponsored by Student Wellness Commission, CSC, and EEP, and it was helped along by Tanya, who is also the academics director in SWC. She's also a CAPS student advisory board member. So that's where we derive a lot of our statistics. We've also looked at data to that. So, whereas 60% of students were found to have experienced more than average stress to tremendous stress, according to the National College Health Assessment of Students at UCLA in 2016. Whereas UCLA recognizes depression as the most common cause of disability worldwide and one of the greatest, if not greatest, challenges to global health in the 21st century. Whereas in accordance with the Depression Grant Challenge, all UCLA incoming students and the entire UCLA community are eligible for free screenings, and Chancellor Block has stated that students will be provided treatment as necessary. Whereas Counseling and Psychological Services, CAPS, at UCLA is a central provider of mental health care services as an on-campus provider, and a large number of both undergraduate and graduate students rely on CAPS for its services. Whereas CAPS has experienced record high numbers of visits to its clinic. According to data presented to the CAPS Student Advisory Board, about 200 new students are seen every week, and the average wait time for a non-lecture session remains 3 to 4 weeks, and the number of sessions allotted to students remains 3 for non-UC shift students and 6 for UC shift students. Whereas on average, CAPS has lost 1 therapist per month at UCLA since 2016. Turnover, stress, and continuity of student care, which can compromise the safety of students. It burdens CAPS leadership with ongoing hiring needs. It causes work from departing clinicians to be transferred to their remaining colleagues, further limiting the space available to new students. And most noticeable to us, the students, is that these transfers cause existing clients to essentially start over and develop new therapeutic relationships within the 3 to 6 therapy session limit at one of the most susceptible times in adult development to mental illness. Whereas the inability to retain psychologists and serve students appropriately is not a problem that is central to UCLA, but across the University of California. Many of the UC campuses are sharing similar challenges with staffing, turnover, and student dissatisfaction due to heavy caseloads and concerns about wages. Whereas the problem at UCLA is heightened because of disparity in compensation of CAPS psychologists and the other psychologists at UCLA Health. Whereas addressing student mental health calls for a multifaceted approach, and resolving the discrepancies in pay of CAPS psychologists is simply one method of better retaining providers to provide stability for both the worker and the student. Let it be resolved that the Undergraduate Student Association Council, USAC, recognizes the work of CAPS psychologists and their fundamental importance as on-campus health care providers in the lives of UCLA students. Let it be further resolved that the council recognizes the discrepancy between the working conditions and provisions made for our campus mental health care providers at CAPS and the efforts that UCLA seeks to undertake as a leader in mental health care. Let it be further resolved that the council recognizes the work of Dr. Nicole Green, Executive Director of CAPS, in providing open line of communication with students and an outlet for student voices to create recommendations through the CAPS Student Advisory Board. However, the work should not fall to one individual and cannot be done without the collective support of UCLA administration. Let it be finally resolved that the council calls upon Chancellor June Law, Executive Vice Chancellor Scott Law, and the Assistant Vice Chancellor Susan Cephala to advocate on behalf of UCLA CAPS staff to bring UC CAPS psychologists pay in parity with that of other UCLA psychologists on this campus. Any suggestions? Or amendments? Or even any grammatical errors that I just used. If there are no further suggestions, can I move to? Is added to approve the resolution in support of and in solidarity with psychologists and clinicians of UCLA Council and Psychological Services.
Any motion on the table? Second. Good morning, second, sorry. So we'll begin the vocal roll call vote with IEP.
Yes.
EDP. Yes. Generic 1. Yes. Generic 2. Yes. Generic 3.
Yes.
CEC.
Yes.
CAC.
Yes.
FSC.
Yes.
SWC. Yes. And TSR.
Yes.
Great, therefore, by vote 10 to 0 to 0, this motion passes and the resolution is made approved. Moving on to our second resolution for tonight, a resolution honoring the memory of Stephon Clark, demanding justice for his family and unequivocal condemning police brutality and anti-blackness. I don't really need to be one reading this, but I will simply share that a lot of this was inspired by being in Sacramento for the Student Lobby Conference as part of the delegation organized by Chloe. And there was a really powerful presentation on anti-blackness organized in response to anti-blackness that took place at SOC this past year. And being in Sacramento at that time, really, I don't know, made me feel like this is something we should do. I do want to recognize the members of my staff who helped craft the language, Jason Vu, Amir Cesar, and Willie Maxfield. So, any initial changes that we want to make before we do it, or if anyone else want to do it?
A resolution honoring the memory of Stephen Clark, demanding justice for his family and unequivocally condemning police brutality and anti-blackness. Whereas Stephen Clark was a 22-year-old African-American man who was shot and killed on the evening of March 18, 2018 by two officers of the Sacramento Police Department in Sacramento, California, while speaking on the phone in the backyard of the home he shared with his grandparents and sibling. Whereas the two officers fired 20 rounds after believing Clark had a gun, and despite the fact that he was only holding a cell phone. Whereas the killing was caught on video and only released by the Sacramento Police Department following public outrage. Whereas the two officers on the scene turned off the audio on their body cameras minutes after Stephen Clark was shot and killed. Whereas Muslim leaders have stated that Stephen Clark's body was in such terrible shape after the shooting that they were unable to provide a ritual washing, sorry if I'm pronouncing that correctly, for the burial, and a dry ablution was performed instead. Whereas the killing of Stephen Clark is one of hundreds of killings of unarmed Black people by police in America, whereas hundreds of individuals attended a protest organized by Black Lives Matter Sacramento at Sacramento City Hall and throughout the streets of Sacramento, shutting down Interstate 5 during rush hour, chanting "Don't shoot, it's a cell phone," and ultimately delaying the Sacramento Kings basketball game while saying Stephen Clark couldn't be here to watch a game. These people aren't going to be here to watch this game. Whereas protesters led by Stephen Clark's brother, Stephonte Clark, voiced their outrage at a meeting of the Sacramento City Council on Tuesday, March 28th, causing the council to end their meeting early. Whereas Black Lives Matter activists as far as New York City continue to speak out against the injustice of Stephen Clark's death at the hands of police officers. Whereas Sacramento Mayor Darrell Steinberg responded to the atrocity with, quote, "The tragedy warrants not only our sorrow, but a deep examination of what occurred, and the police policies and procedures must be examined and changed to minimize the chance that this happens again," unquote. Whereas Minority Leader Congresswoman Nancy Pelosi responded to the killing saying she was, quote, "sickened by the senseless shooting that ended the life of Stephen Clark. His life mattered and he should be alive today," unquote. Therefore, let it be resolved that the Undergraduate Student Association, USAC, condemns anti-Blackness and its manifestation in our criminal justice system as both police brutality and mass incarceration. Let it be further resolved that the USAC stands firmly in solidarity with and unequivocally supports the efforts of Black Lives Matter. Let it be further resolved that the 2017-2018 USAC commits to holding a training for all its members to learn about anti-Blackness, its detection, its consequences, and its eradication, and calls upon all future USAC to engage in such trainings. Let it be further resolved that the USAC expresses its most sincere condolences to the family and echoes the calls of the Sacramento community demanding justice and an end to police brutality.
Any amendments to the language, changes to the language?
I think it's great. I think instead of the USAC, would be just
USAC?
no, undergraduate students.
For the second let it be resolved?
For the second class.
Okay. Any opposition to that? So we're amending the second let it be resolved, so let it be further resolved that the Undergraduate Student Association, council stands firmly in solidarity and unequivocally supports. Then let it be further resolved that the 2017-2018 Undergraduate Student Association Council commits to, and let it be further resolved that the Undergraduate Student Association Council expresses its most sincere condolences. Any other amendments? And just for you all to know as well, we have reached out to members of the African American Studies Department to help lead the session on anti-Blackness, and the Black Grad Student Association, as well as the GSA the office, has reached out and desire to co-host it with us. So we're thinking about opening it up to being open to both USAC and GSA members, if that was a thing for one. So is there any motion to approve or to adopt the resolution?
I motion to approve to adopt the resolution honoring the memory of Stephen Clark, demanding justice for his family, and unequivocally condemning police brutality.
Second. We will begin the local roll call vote with IDP.
Yes.
EDP. Yes. Gen 1. Yes. Gen 2. Gen 3.
Yes.
CEC. CAC.
Yes.
FSC.
Yes.
SWC. Yes. And TSR. Yes. Therefore, by a vote of 10 to 0 to 0, the resolution has been adopted. So our next item on the agenda is the spring 2018 USAC election ballot. I'm going to ask us to first deal with the calendar, as there are the judicial board, what's his official title? The Chief Justice of the Judicial Board will be joining us soon, and there are reasons why we will not be able to vote on that tonight. I'll wait for him to formally engage that conversation. So the next item on our agenda is an amendment to the election calendar. Actually, never mind, because we'll be able to actually do that until we close this. So I will read to you all, I apologize that I've been in and out of this room, dealing with a particular situation relevant to this item. I received an email from the Chief Justice of the J Board that they've accepted a petition.
Are we on 2 or 4?
We're doing 3. So, this is an official memo from the Judicial Board. On April 10th, 2018, the Judicial Board officially received a petition. So this was a memo that was sent from the Judicial Board to a student named John Ulysses Kevon Lynch, I hope I pronounced that correctly. So the information section of this memo says, on April 10th, 2018, the Judicial Board officially received your petition for consideration, number 18-1, against the USAC Election Board, the respondent. You are the petitioner. The Judicial Board will be acting in its capacity as the Board of Appeals for the USAC Election Board, see USAC Constitution 6.b.3 and USAC Election Code 11.4. The Judicial Board has granted a petition for consideration number 18-1 on the matter of John Ulysses Kevon Lynch to the USAC Election Board and will be formally considering the case. The issues to be considered will be the following. One, that the Election Board violates Election Code Article 1.2.1 by imposing sanction number C2-S2018. The Judicial Board will be issuing a preliminary injunction and will place a hold on the vote of the approval of the election ballot at the Undergraduate Student Association Council meeting on April 13th, 2018 at 7 p.m. It is the opinion of the board petitioner, if the petitioner is found in favor, his potential ability to campaign, publish candidate statements, attend certain election board events, and fulfill election board deadlines can disadvantage his right to a fair election. We therefore request the election board to hold off and restructure the calendar to reflect the ballot once formally approved by council. So judicial board procedures have been accelerated. With regard to the preliminary hearing and court of hearing, preliminary hearing and court of hearing have been scheduled for Friday, April 13th at 6 p.m. You will be informed of the location shortly. The preliminary hearing will be held in closed session. The petitioner will confirm whether or not they are moving forward with the petition. The respondent will answer the allegations of fact contained within the petition, either admitting or denying said allegations. Should the case move forward into a court of hearing, the Judicial Board will move straight into the court of hearing. The court of hearing will be open to the university public. If you cannot make this time, please email the Judicial Board. And the rest is with regard to procedure. Do you want me to read it? I believe I'll just read it for the sake of transparency. I would like to provide you notification that you would normally have 3 business days to appoint a representative. However, Judicial Board procedures are accelerated during elections. Your representative must identify him or herself, or theirself, by Thursday, April 12th, 2018 at 7 p.m. If you are a current undergraduate UCLA student, you may appoint yourself as your own representative. Upon being selected, a representative must identify him or herself to the Judicial Board by emailing usac.judicialboard@gmail.com and confirm that you, the petitioner, will seek consideration of the case. Your representative must be present at the preliminary hearing. Items to be submitted into evidence must be submitted to the Judicial Board via email by Thursday, April 12th at 7 p.m. For evidence submitted after 7 p.m. on Thursday, April 12th, 2018, it will be the responsibility of the petitioner, the respondent, and their respective representatives to provide duplicate physical copies at the court of hearing for 1, the opposing copy, and 2, the Judicial Board, 7 copies. Witnesses are optional. Witness lists must be submitted to the Judicial Board via email by Thursday, April 12th, 2018 at 7 p.m. Please include name and contact email address for each witness. The Judicial Board strongly urges the petitioner and respondent to contact their witnesses before listing them. You may refer to the official rules of the Judicial Board, Part 4, Section 4, for rules about witnesses. Each party will be notified if their witness list has been filed. Upon filing, it is the responsibility of the petitioner, the respondent, and the respective representative to relay and forward any pertinent information to the witnesses. Objectives. A list of valid objectives is available on the Judicial Board website. So the Chief Justice of the J Board is on his way here to formally deliver this notification to us and the Election Board. So I will try to answer questions to the best of my ability if you have any. The Election Board is here as well, but they're also respondents in the case. But for now, are there any questions? So we will not be able to vote on the approval of the ballot at this time. That means we will have to make changes to the election calendar to account for the fact that a case will not be held until Friday, which means that we will not be able to approve the ballot until next Tuesday. Therefore, meaning that there are certain election deadlines that now need to be changed so as not to penalize the student in question. Does that make sense to everyone? Any questions? Yeah. No. Her question was, are we required to be there or not? So if there are no questions, we are going to table the item regarding approval of the usac election ballot until next week.
I guess my one question is, yeah, but everything's been there for pushback.
Not everything,
But
right?
just certain things.
Yes, so I'm sure the election board has a list of things we're gonna push back and we'll get there whenever we talk about. So we already have an item on the agenda to amend the calendar, which works out well. And so once we get there, we can discuss which ones need to be pushed back. Cool, so at this point, we are going to close this item and move on to item 4, which is the election calendar amendments.
So, originally scheduled, we had two meet the candidates events to give students 2 opportunities to meet candidates, and for the candidates to also have 2 opportunities to meet students. But as Madam President said earlier, we tried to lower costs this year and we are co-programming with the Hill. And the only date possible to do it on the Hill was that Tuesday before April 24th. And I tried to get week 3 Thursday, and week 4 Thursday, and all these different types of events, and I did not want it to be on any religious holidays on Fridays or on Tuesdays and USAC meetings. That is the only date that we possibly can do. So it would be week 4, Tuesday, April 24th at 7:30 p.m.
Okay, so I'm actually gonna pull up the election calendar just because there are a couple things that now need to be shifted. Jessica, would it be possible to pull up the calendar on the screen as well? I think you can get it at the usacelectionboard.com.
It's on the top line. So the Meet the Candidates event that we will be switching is this one right here. On week 4 Monday, we'll be switching to the next day. I think that it's vital that we maintain the presence of this second Meet the Candidates event in order, as we noted, to engage with as many students as possible during the election process. And especially considering that there are such a great number of students that have submitted applications for candidacy to us on time. I think it's vital that we ensure that they are able to have, that students, especially first year, second year students that are living on the Hill, are able to engage with those candidates and with those designated campaign representative of the constitutional amendment that's going to be on the ballot in person. I think that's something that we need to maintain in this election as we move forward. In regards to the.
Wait one second.
Sure.
Can you just repeat the time at the start, time and location for us?
Sure, so it'll be at 7 p.m. on the 24th in Bradley Hall, which is, I believe, the International Center. 7:30, excuse me, 7:30 p.m.
Any questions about that specific case before we move on? I will just say that, I think there were some of us who were concerned about it being held on Tuesday, and I appreciate you, explaining your reasoning as to why it's being held on Tuesday, just because I know there are some folks from this table who are running, and also candidates themselves may want to attend USAC, but if there's literally no other time, then that makes sense.
Actually, also, while we're considering that change, if you wouldn't mind also considering, it's okay. Thank you. Truncating, extending the switching the beginning, pushing, I guess, forward the beginning of this endorsement hearing to 6:30 p.m. Because especially now, because yesterday we had 60 groups show up for our candidate orientation. I want to make sure that those groups get as much time as possible to ask candidates about their stuff.
May I recommend that we maybe block those 2 events, so that in the event that endorsements need to go later, we're not stuck, and then the candidates can have it.
Okay, that makes sense.
Right now, we have the room from 6 to 12 in the grand drive-through of go out. So what I was thinking was to put it on new candidates was to actually have it at 6:30. And this was before we like specifically knew the rules, so that's why the times are a little like messed up. But I was thinking 6:30 and having the candidates go till 8, have 30 minutes of a turnover time since it's in the same room, and then endorsement hearings start 8:30, and you guys would have until about 11 to 11:30 to 11:45 before we have to clean up by midnight. Thoughts?
Yeah, there's a lot of candidates.
Yeah, I just feel like having two, it's like 48, we have 39 candidates and one constitutional amendment, so probably representatives. Having it in 2 days just makes more sense.
With regard to that, we may recommend that we still, if you still want to do the candidates on that day, do the endorsements first, but in the event that it does go later for whatever reason, we have some flow time, rather than doing the candidates first and potentially getting into murky territory.
That makes sense to me.
So like, if the endorsements is longer, should we just make it earlier in the night, so that we have more time?
No, I think what we're saying is we've got the room booked. We need to have the endorsements here and have a second meet the candidates event anyways. So just in case the endorsement hearing goes as long, we need as much time as possible to ensure that the endorsement hearing is held in full. So I think that's good.
Is that okay? Any opposition to that around the table? So I'm just gonna list out,
So would then the endorsement hearings start?
We can probably 6:30, so if we're starting at 6, so just let's set up that time to sign in.
so let's, if there are any time changes, also I know the rooms maybe have shifted a little bit, if you could share those with us too, so we can vote on them, just so that it's all happening in the most transparent and open way possible. So we're now changing, so that is the endorsement hearing. Will begin at, which is on April 18th. We'll begin at 6:30. And should we just list that meet the candidates will then occur after, or 30 minutes after?
3 minutes after the endorsements hearing. And then,
Great. Any questions about that particular amendment? All right, seeing none, maybe we can start at, sorry.
Why 6:30 not 6?
because we just said that, and to have the folks sign in, sign in.
So I recommend assignments happening at 6:30, maybe not like explicitly clear to everyone, we'll have all the events starts at 6:30, everyone needs to have them signed in by then.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm gonna be sending out,
We'll put that on the
guidelines
calendar.
for how we can.
So maybe now we should shift them to the week two and go through and see if there are any events that need to be moved as a result of the injunction.
As far as I can tell, the 2 events that need to be moved, I honestly, the ballot presentation needs to be moved to the 17th. And the candidate statement language due date should, I think, be moved also off the week to the 18th.
So you're recommending that the language we do the 18th?
Yes.
I'll just go one by one. Is there, obviously, there can't really be any opposition to moving the usac ballot presentation to 17? Okay, and then the candidate statements. Slash. So that'll be due the 18th at that same time.
Yes, at that 7 p.m. schedule.
That's it.
Move it to the website. So we can select that.
So then, because we won't be approving the ballot until Tuesday night, how do we feel about moving the online campaigning beginning time to that Wednesday 8 a.m.?
Okay.
Because 8 a.m. because we're shortening it by 2 days. Any opposition to that, questions?
So the online campaign Wednesday in.
Yes. Online campaigning begins Wednesday. I'm looking at the calendar, I don't see anything else that needs to be moved, I don't see anything else that needs to be changed or shifted. I would just say that, is there any representation from the room here who's going to be covering the election? Because we are going to need like that to be published 8 a.m. so that folks know who to expect at the endorsement hearing and such. Any of the candidates.
Maybe you're listening.
We really are. That's right. Yeah. If you could just communicate to voters covering the election that it would be very much preferred if there could be some sort of list of, like an official list of the candidates who are going to be on the ballot sent out Wednesday morning, just so that students know who's going to be at the candidates event. That would be great. Great. I don't see anything else that needs to be moved. Election morning, do you see anything else that needs to be shifted?
I don't see anything that needs to be moved because of the general case, other than the candidacy that's not, like you said, about this.
Anyone else want to take it?
And the online campaign today.
So I'm just going to read the amendments back to all of you so everyone's on the same page. We're moving the second meeting of candidates to Tuesday, April 24th at 7 p.m. in Tom Bradley Hall. The endorsement hearing on April 18th will begin at 6:30 p.m. and meet the candidates will begin 30 minutes after the conclusion of the endorsement hearing. The usac ballot presentation has been moved to next week, April 17th. Candidate statements will be due, and candidate statements and final proposition language will be due April 18th at 7 p.m. And because of that, online campaigning will begin Wednesday, April 18th at 8 a.m. Anyone just get on that? Great.
The candidate statements are due April,
Candidate statements are due the 18th at 7 p.m.
and then online campaigning,
Begins Wednesday at 8 a.m.
and Wednesday's also the
18th, yeah. Yes. as well.
I'm just concerned that the second candidates at 7:30. Sorry, did you say 7 or 7:30? I was
Leave the candidates
two.
at 7:30.
Maybe 7:30, yeah.
7:30 p.m. And that situation will be able to check in from 7:30 or whatever. Yeah, okay. Cool. Did you have a question?
Yeah, so you said anything else has been moved to April 17th?
The candidate statements will be moved to April 18th at 7 p.m. And online campaigning starts that day at 8 p.m. Any other questions?
One more question.
Yes.
Since there are 39 candidates, will candidates be required to say for the duration of all these events?
So none of these events are actually mandatory for any candidate.
The only mandatory event, yeah, I don't think that, meeting candidates and endorsement hearings are not mandatory events. Or debates, none of those are mandatory.
They do not stay for the duration.
Yeah, the only thing that would recommend for those resolution, yeah. Jack, when do you, if the changes are approved, when do you think you can have the calendar up?
If these changes are approved, we can have them up by the end of the night.
Right, to make sure that it's being pushed out as soon as possible. And also have everyone sending it directly to those who are registered.
Yeah, them on the list.
Great. Are there any other discussion questions? Amendments? Seeing none, is there a motion to approve the amendments to the election calendar? Also the aforementioned amendments?
I move to approve the aforementioned amendment.
Great, so we get motion made, second, then passed around. We will begin the local roll call vote with IDP.
Yes.
EVP. Yes. General 1. Yes. General 2. Yes. General 3.
Yes.
CEC. CAC.
Yes.
FSC.
Yes.
SWC. Yes. And GSR.
Yes.
Therefore, by a vote of 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 0 to 0, the election calendar amendments have been approved. So that is it for our new business for tonight. We may repeat your next question, so that's okay. Are there any announcements tonight?
Okay, so today, a member of my office staff, and I, including Eric, were We essentially painted a butterfly, a monarch butterfly, and in the documented community, it represents a migration pattern from Mexico to Canada and Mexico. It's symbolic for migration without borders, learning like the idea that like immigration is like a human right and it's like something that people have a right to do. So we essentially had a canopy and the display of the butterfly, and we were asking people who were coming and like walking by to picture the butterfly and use the hashtag migration is beautiful. So I currently have all the pictures that we took, as well as other people were taking pictures with their own phones and posting that as well. And simultaneously, we had put up a bunch of facts regarding things like TPS, DACA, the DREAM Act, and like other policies that the Trump administration has put in place. So we were essentially doing that because we didn't want the event to go without any actual factual like education. So we wanted to distribute those, even if people didn't want to do groups behind the map, so that people on their way to class or coming back from class could maybe like learn what TPS is or something like, or like no way 540. So really excited to see Emers having multiple events throughout the week as well. So it's a really, really nice way to kickstart week 2, and you'll be seeing a lot of these pictures as well as like demonstrations and actions on social media in case you missed them as well. Yeah. Thank you, Nicole. Any other announcements tonight?
If anyone is going to be preparing for the LSAC, MCAP, and GRE, the GRE office is co-partner, co-programming with the Career Center in weeks 3, 5, and 7, and we're like providing course materials, tutors and such to help students out in those exams.
Any other announcements? Seeing none, the attendance sheet has gone around. Is there a motion to adjourn?
I motion to adjourn.
I second.
We'll begin the roll call vote with IDP? Yes. EDP? Yes. General 1? Yes. General 2? Yes. General 3?
Yes.
CEC? CAC?
Yes.
FSC?
Yes.
SWC? Yeah. And DSR? Yeah. Therefore, by a vote of 10 to 0, we officially adjourn at 8:10 p.m.
No, we didn't want to, we did so much. Yeah, we did a lot. I know, right? We can do homework.